The car finally gave out. Jeff slammed his fists against the dashboard in pure frustration, as if his week hadn't been bad enough. His wife had just left him, taking the kids. He had been demoted at work, forced back onto the road as a traveling salesman. And now he was stranded, in the dead of night, in the middle of nowhere. The pounding rain offered no mercy. He knew no one was coming down this forgotten road. With a heavy sigh, he stepped out into the freezing storm. After half an hour of walking blindly through the mud and darkness, a shape appeared in the distance. An old, rotting house sitting silently in the woods. Jeff had seen enough horror movies to know you don't go knocking on creepy doors in the dark, but the freezing rain bit into his skin, overriding his fear. He had no choice. To his surprise, the door opened quickly. An older man, looking to be in his late 70s, stood in the dim light. Jeff desperately explained his situation. The old man hesitated, sizing him up, before giving a warm, grandfatherly smile. "Come in out of the cold," he said. "My name is Joseph Palmer." Mr. Palmer let him use the phone, but the nearest garage said they couldn't reach him until noon the next day. Seeing Jeff's exhaustion, Palmer kindly offered him the guest room. The house was unnerving, filled with heavy antiques that looked like they hadn't been touched in 60 years. But a warm bed was better than freezing in a broken car. Audio cue rain, tapping against a single glass window. Extremely quiet atmosphere. Jeff laid down on the old canopy bed. The house was suffocatingly quiet, except for a creak here, a thump there. Jeff's paranoia started playing tricks on him. He could hear Mr. Palmer pacing the hallway outside, up and down, up and down. Then, the footsteps stopped, right outside Jeff's door. Pause. 3 seconds. Jeff held his breath. He waited. Half an hour passed, but nothing happened. Slowly, exhaustion pulled him under, though just as he drifted off to sleep, he swore he could hear something scratching at his door. Audio cue a sudden, bright, peaceful acoustic guitar strum. Birds chirping outside. Jeff awoke to bright morning sunlight streaming through the curtains. The storm had passed. He let out a long sigh of relief, laughing at his own foolish paranoia. It was 11:20 a.m. He was safe. He packed his things and walked downstairs, greeted by a smiling Mr. Palmer. "Sleep well?" the old man asked. "I did," Jeff chuckled. "To be honest, I was a bit spooked last night, but I feel silly about it now. Thank you for everything. I have to go meet the tow truck." Jeff turned to walk toward the front door. Pain exploded in the back of his skull. Everything went violently dark. When Jeff finally opened his eyes, he was tied tightly to a wooden chair in a damp, freezing basement. The air reeked of something sweet, rotten, and metallic. Blood. Footsteps approached from the shadows. It was Mr. Palmer, but the warm, grandfatherly smile was gone. In his hand, he held a massive, rusted hunting knife. Jeff screamed, thrashing against the ropes, tearing his skin. But it was useless. "Why?" Jeff sobbed. "Why are you doing this? Why didn't you do this last night?" Palmer tilted his head, his voice devoid of any human warmth. "Last night, you were nervous. You were full of fear. You were ready to fight back. Everyone expects the monsters to attack in the dark." Palmer stepped closer, the knife gleaming in the dim light. "But in the morning, people are relaxed. They feel safe, and their false hope makes them blind to the slaughter. Jeff choked on his tears, screaming that the garage people would come looking for him. Palmer just softly chuckled. Storms take people all the time, Jeff. No one will ever look down here. As Palmer stepped fully into the light, Jeff's heart stopped. Palmer's eyes, there was no white in them. They were completely, unnaturally black.